Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. As you can see, it is 18th March today, and in this video we are going to solve some important questions which could be very much relevant for your preparation. But before we start our discussion, I would like to give you the brief introduction about this initiative so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with us. Guys, basically in this video, we are going to discuss various types of questions, and if I will be more precise, we are going to discuss three types of questions in this video, and these questions would be taken from three different sources. So depending on it, the first set of questions which we are going to discuss here would be taken from the current affairs. So what we are going to do here, we will take up the most important articles from the newspapers. We will try to break them down into the simplest language possible, and we will try to derive the possible prelims questions from those particular topics so that it will give you the idea which part of the newspaper is important for you, what should be your approach when you are reading these news articles, and how you can expect a possible prelims question from those particular topics. This how it is going to help you. This is what we are going to do in this video. After solving the questions with respect to current affairs, after solving questions with respect to current affairs, we will shift our approach to the another part where we will discuss questions from the static portion. As you know, currently we are discussing Indian polity, if you would have followed me, and if you don't know, we are currently discussing Indian polity, and in Indian polity we are discussing the Parliament of India, and in Parliament of India we are discussing the Raj Sabha. Today we are going to discuss few more concepts related to Raj Sabha, and we will try to derive the particular prelims question with respect to that concept, so that it will give you the idea how exactly a question can be asked in the exam. Our approach in doing these static topics is very much discreet. We are taking it we are taking very stepwise we are taking very stepwise approach in it. Today we will discuss a topic and derive a possible prelims question related to that. So after solving questions with respect to current affairs and the static part, we will shift our approach to the last part of our discussion. Here we will discuss a previous year question. To me this is most important part, because in here we will learn how exactly the question is asked by UPSC examiner, what is the vocabulary he tries to follow for framing your papers, and what are the different trends they can use for framing your papers. This is what we will learn, and at the same time we will try to learn the elimination methods, what are the different techniques which we can implement in the exam if we don't have the proper knowledge, and at the same time we will try to learn how we can implement this knowledge in the upcoming exam. So this is in nutshell what we are going to do in this video. Now before we will start our discussion, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel, do share it with your friends, and please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you guys. With this, let's have a look at the first question which we had brought today. As here you can see, the question is with respect to United States of America's international borders. As since Donald Trump took his office, USA is always in news. Because of him, it has gained more importance, whether it would be his tariff deals, or whether recently he has attacked, there is attack from USA on Houthis. So he's always in the news. But today our discussion would revolve the recent, when recent immigration issue which Donald Trump raised there, and many immigrants were sent back, many migrants were sent back, many illegal migrants were sent back to their native countries. So with respect to this, there was huge discussion in the newspaper, and the author here discussed exactly, if it would be Shashi Tharoor. He discussed that we are only just thinking of this aspect, why people are going to this, as United States of America, it has always showed that it is the land of ambition, it is the land where your dreams would come true, it is the land of dreams. But is it really so? Why people are going there? Is it because of the poverty in our country? Are they going it because of that, or is it because of the ambition? Are they going there for the ambition? But is it really the dream? Is it really the country of dreams where dreams come true? Is it really so? So there was discussion over it. Exactly, if we will comment on that article, it would be more suitable for your mains exam, because in this there were a few points raised. For example, it is not always the poverty which will drive the migration. It is more than aspiration, and also what they go there, how they are living there, their living conditions in these particular countries. is it suitable for them, even though they are spending how much money they are spending to go through these illegal routes, but is it worth living there, because they go through racial slurs, they go through various issues. And also the article described different types of different types of migrants. There are few migrants which are from India. Those are respected because of their stature, because of their educational status, because of their skills. And there are few migrants which are least respected because they lack all these stuff. So there was this discussion in the news article which could be important for your mains. But as I had promised you always, that any article which is in the newspaper is important for you, whether it is mains or it is prelims. So it is our duty to frame an IAS prelims model question on that particular article. So today's question is on the borders of USA, and if once you will solve this question, you will see how important this question could have been if we had discussed this question last year. So let's see what does the question say. The question says, consider the following statements regarding the United States of America's international borders. First statement, the United States shares a land border exclusively with the two countries. 100% true. It is Canada and it is Mexico. So first statement is true. Second statement, the border shared with Canada is the longest international land border in the world. 100% true. If you remember, in the last year's prelims paper, there was a question which asked us about various which has the longest land border. Options were different. Chile and Argentina was the option, and there were different options, and so was the option between Canada and USA. That's why I told you, if we would have discussed this question last year, it would have been more important. But always remember, such questions are always important for you guys. So remember this. The border shared with Canada is the longest international land border in the world, which is shared by USA. So second statement is also true. Third statement, the border with Mexico is characterized by uniformly consistent geographical features. It is always, whenever you see such questions with respect to geography, almost every time such statements are incorrect, and so is the case with this statement. There is nothing uniformity in with the geography. With respect to Mexico, there is no uniformity in it. We see mountains there, we see deserts there. So definitely the third statement is incorrect. So with this, we can eliminate option C and option D, and as we know, option 1 and 2 are correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be option A. With this, I hope you had understood the question, and also you had understood the context of the question, why we had brought this question, how we reached to this question. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought on the next slide, on the next screen. Here again, the question is with respect to the land border with Afghanistan. Why we are discussing this question? Because as we recently discussed about how Afghanistan government right now, the Taliban government right now, they were trying to deal with India. They were trying to sign a deal with India where India will allow their envoy to sit in the Afghanistan embassy in India, and finally India had agreed to it. It is a very geopolitical thing in nature, that the country, the nature of the polity in Afghanistan, India would have never liked to deal with them. But the condition right now is very much different. Every country has started ties with Afghanistan. Initially Pakistan started, then China came in, they started, and many other countries, they started ties with them. They allowed their embassies. Russia started their ties with Afghanistan. So India was little late in it. Every time many members from the parliament, from the opposition parties, they always argued in the parliament that India should also start their ties with the Afghanistan government, Taliban government. They should start talking with them, and it is for the benefit of the country. And finally, it is, as it is said, better late than never. India understood it, and they had started to talk with Afghanistan government right now, Taliban government right now, and they had allowed them to establish their envoy in the Afghanistan embassy in New Delhi. So this is the whole update of the news. Now with respect to this, we need to understand what are the land borders which share Afghanistan. A question about it can be asked in the exam, and we can expect such questions always. So let us see what are the land borders, what are the countries which share land borders with the Afghanistan. So here through this question we will try to understand. Here the question says, which of the following countries share land border with Afghanistan? First statement, Iran. Does Iran share land border with Afghanistan? 100% correct. Iran shares in the west, 100% correct. Then Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan shares 100% correct in the northeast. Then third, Pakistan. Pakistan shares 100% correct. Pakistan shares in the south and southeast. Then we have Tajikistan, it shares 100% correct. Tajikistan shares in northeast, Turkmenistan in northwest, and Tajikistan in northeast, 100% correct. Then Uzbekistan, Uzbekistan shares in north, 100% correct. Then China, it also shares a little bit here. So 100% all the countries mentioned above share land border with Afghanistan. So please remember these things. These, what are our neighboring countries? We have Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Sri Lanka. We need to know. We are very much, it is our duty. If you are UPSC aspirant, then it is your duty to remember what are the land borders, what are the countries which share land borders with our neighbors. We need to know about them, at least with neighbors and their neighbors. This much we should know. And all those countries which are in the news, for example, Russia is in news, USA is in news, we should know about all these countries. Arabian Sea is in news, we should know about that. So with this, I hope you had understood the question, why we discussed it. You had understood the context of the question and also the question here. Now let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. Why it is in news? Because of the attacks from the US on Yemen Houthis. Here Houthis are here. They are, as we know, the Houthis, it is the proxy of Iran. And if we look at this news, it is very much distracting. It is very much, ununderstood. It is very much, we cannot, something which is irritating, because at the same time USA is trying to deal with Iran, but at the same time they are attacking the Houthis, which is in a way very much understood that they are proxies of Iran. So with respect to this, there is discussion over it. There was discussion over it, how it is going to affect the geopolitical situation there. Would it affect the shipping lane which is going from the Red Sea through Bab al-Mandeb there? Would it affect the shipping lane here? Would they stop bombing these ships coming from this region? To which the Houthis responded that they are going for the much harder attacks. They will reply to the American attacks at the same wrath how they had been attacked. So this is something which is going to escalate, and here the countries insist to USA that this issue should be sorted out in a different way. So with respect to this, it becomes important for us to understand this Bab al-Mandeb choke point. So Bab al-Mandeb Strait, we need to understand it, what it is about. So through this question we will try to understand that. Here the question says, consider the following statements regarding the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. First statement, the strait connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. 100% here is Gulf of Aden, which connects connects it further to Indian Ocean. So first statement is 100% correct. It connects Red Sea with Gulf of Aden is here. Red Sea is here. So 100% correct. Second statement, it is a crucial shipping lane for global trade, particularly for oil. 100% correct. Third statement, geographically the strait is located between the continents of Asia and Africa. 100% here it is Asian country, and here Djibouti, here it is African continent. So definitely it is between the continents of Asia and Africa. It separates the Asia and Africa continent. Fourth statement, the strait has no strategic significance due to its depth and width. Totally incorrect. It is highly strategic. It has huge strategic significance. It is highly important for the trade there. So this statement, fourth statement, is incorrect. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1, statement 2, and statement 3. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, I hope you had understood the question as well as the context of the question, why it is in news, the attacks from US. With respect to this, I would like to mention here that last year the US they announced the Prosperity Guardian initiative there to curb the attacks from the Houthis, and many countries collaborated with US. So this Prosperity Guardian may be asked in the exam this year. So with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the challenges faced by the construction workers in India. It is exactly the topic which was in the news. So let's solve the question directly and we will understand it, why it was in the news. Here the question says, consider the following statements, following challenges faced by the construction workers in India. First, lack of consistent and fair wages. 100% correct. There is no consistent work available to them, and also no fair wages available to them. Even though the government has come up with the Manrega, but that's only guaranteed 100 days of works for rural India, for the people living in the rural areas. But still, 100 days are not enough for a family to feed their family for the whole year. So definitely there is lack of consistent and fair wages. This is 100% true. Second statement, inadequate access to social security benefits and healthcare. 100% correct. This is also one of the challenge. There is very much inadequate access to social security and benefits and healthcare. If unfortunately any of them gets sick, first they will lose the day's wages, and at the same time their health will deteriorate. It will impact the society they are living in, it will impact the family they are feeding. So definitely inadequate access to social security benefits and healthcare is a challenge faced by construction workers in India. Third statement, prevalence of unsafe working conditions and occupational hazards. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with this statement. Fourth statement, frequent relocation. 100% correct. At particular place there is no permanent job for any person with respect to the construction workers, because they have to change the locations regularly. They have to go from one place to another places. So frequent relocation, it impacts the psyche of the person, it impacts the physical health of the person, and definitely it is the one of the challenge faced by the construction workers in India, and these were discussed in the news article today. So that's why it became important for you guys. So with this, the correct answer would be option D, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Sometimes you may think such questions cannot be asked by the UPSC, but trust me, sometimes UPSC asks such questions. They will ask you about the advantages, they will ask you about the challenge, and they will UPSC, they will try through the prelims to check how mentally present you are in the exam, how mentally ready you are to become an IS officer, how ready you are to recognize the problem, how ready you are to solve the problem. That is the core requirement for the UPSC. So that's how they will try to test you guys. They can ask you any such question like this. So with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is regarding the wheat production in India. Actually there was a discussion over it, how climate change is impacting the wheat production, how it is in a way declining the wheat production. It is on decline because of the climate change. Because of the it starts by the late monsoons, and that leads to these late monsoons lead to you know about the kharif crops. Sowing of kharif crops goes it leads to the late sowing of kharif crops, and that leads to the late harvesting of kharif crops, and it further leads to late sowing of rabi crops, which is actually a winter crop, and finally it leads to late harvesting of rabi crops, which is when there is late harvesting of the rabi crops, it gets much sunlight time, much heat, and it in a way damages the rabi crops. So is the case with the wheat here. That is in nutshell what was in the discussion here. So please do remember it. Now let's solve the question and get more idea about it. The question says, regarding wheat production in India, consider the following statement. First statement, Uttar Pradesh is the largest wheat producing state in India. 100% correct. Second statement, the Green Revolution significantly boosted wheat production in India. 100% correct. Third statement, India is the largest exporter of the wheat. No, India is not largest. There are other countries which are the largest exporter, for example, Russia and European Union. So third statement is incorrect. Fourth statement, the Rabi season is the primary season for wheat cultivation in India. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be statement 1, statement 2 and statement 4. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought here. With this, we had completed the questions from the current affairs. Now let us shift our approach to the today's static part. Let's see what question we had brought from the static part. Here the question is about the leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha. So it is one of the major, major office in the parliament. So we need to understand it, and we will understand it through this question. For this, I guess you have to wait for a few seconds. Here the question says, regarding the leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, consider the following statements. First statement, it says the leader of opposition is accorded statutory recognition under the Salaries and Allowance of Leaders of Opposition in Parliament Act 1977. 100% true. It is an statutory office. So please remember that. First statement is correct. Second statement, to be recognized as a leader of opposition, the party must have at least 10% of the total strength of the house. 100% correct. That is also true. Third statement, the leader of opposition is appointed by the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Actually, chairman recognizes the leader of opposition. He recognizes it, but he is appointed by the members of the parliament, members of the political party. So third statement is incorrect. Fourth statement, the leader of opposition holds a cabinet minister rank. 100% true. So with respect to this question, please remember these important points. With respect to this question, the correct statement would be statement 1, statement 2, and statement 4. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, let's move to the last part of our discussion, where we will solve a previous year question. Here, as you know, we are currently discussing the world geography, and this question was asked in 2006. So let's see what was the question here. The question says, what is the correct sequence of the given continents in the decreasing order of their percentage of the Earth's land? So here we have to find out what is the correct sequence of these continents in the decreasing order of their percentage of the Earth's land. So definitely Africa would be at the top. It has the highest land, we know that. After Africa, what would be the best option? It is North America. Then after North America, it would be South America, and then it would be Europe. So this would be the correct sequence: Africa, North America, South America, and Europe. It would be 1, it would be 2, 3, and 4. This is the correct sequence of the decreasing order of their percentage of Earth's land. So with this, we had completed today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.